You ever wake up one day and realize peace and quiet aren't just ideas, they're endangered species? I did. And let me tell you, if you'd told me after decades as a federal inspector, the guy who waded through DC corruption like it was bathwater, that my final boss would be a suburban HOA president named Karen, well, I'd have laughed you off the property right then and there. But that's exactly what happened. See, I was tired, burned out from years of bureaucracy, lies, and watching power-hungry people build kingdoms out of paperwork. So I bought myself a little slice of nowhere, Colwood County, Washington. No pastel mailboxes, no meetings about shrub heights, just me, a gravel drive, and a dog named Rex who'd bite the wind if it barked at him wrong. I even hung a sign under the new mailbox, private drive, no trespassing, not subject to shower regulations. Subtlety was never my strong suit. You'd think that would be enough to keep the world at bay. But then she showed up, business blazer in broad daylight, walking like she owned the timber under her feet. "You must be the new resident," she says, lips so tight you'd think she'd swallowed a lemon whole. No Hans check, just that binder, clutched like the nuclear codes. "I'm Karen Browning, president of Willow Pond Estates Homeowners Association." You ever hear a person announce their job like it's a royal decree? That was Karen, and I knew right then she was trouble wrapped in laminated bylaws. I told her, "This isn't your association. Private parcel, Karen, not Willow Pond." She blinked, one of those long, glitchy blinks that says, reality isn't supposed to work this way. She starts up about community expectations and shared water lines, as if her clipboard was the Constitution. I laughed. Couldn't help it. "Area of interest isn't legal authority," I said. "And I'm not interested." That went over like a lead balloon. She pointed out my hunting trailer, made a crack about mailbox aesthetics, and as she turned to leave, hit me with a threat. "You'll be hearing from the community board." I watched her march away, binder under her arm, the wind at her back. Rex peed on her tire tracks for good measure. 3 days later, the games began. An envelope, typed, no return address, stuck in my gate latch, violation notice. All the HOA's favorite buzzwords. Unapproved facade color. XSK, 9 presents. Incompatible mailbox aesthetic. I choked on my coffee laughing. But then the threat. Failure to address these violations may result in disciplinary committee action. I emailed the whole mess to my lawyer. Marcus, good guy, spoken tough. He replied, "Nonsense. Keep documenting everything." So I did. Security cams, photos, every citation. Because I knew Karen wasn't just playing queen, she was building a siege. I started finding trash dumped in my drive. Broken fence slats, old toilets, even half a swing set. Next thing, she's standing at the edge of the cul-de-sac, clipboard in hand, pointing out visual disruptions with her clique of clipboard commandos. I confronted her. She put on her smile, the one that says, "You're on my list now." And then the whisper campaign started. Neighbors I'd never met driving up, asking if I planned to comply with community expectations. I asked, "Which expectations are those?" They just mumbled and drove off. By the end of that week, I'd had more citations, more trash, and more HOA zombies filming my house than a reality TV star on the wrong show. Did I back down? Hell no. I put up more cameras, more signs, gave Rex a GPS collar that said, "Not a violation." The more they pushed, the more I dug in. But Karen, she escalated, dumped broken planters in my driveway, this time with 2 sets of footprints. Minions. That's when Mark showed up, old Vietnam vet from down the road, eyes sharp. "Karen's been on a tear," he warned. "Told everyone you snuck in through some loophole." He didn't buy it, but he said, "Watch your gate at night." I took him seriously. Sure enough, I caught them. Midnight, dark clothes, slapping, pending community action stickers on my fence. I sent the footage to the sheriff. Response? Best we could do is log it. I wasn't surprised. Out here, law enforcement is just a rumor most days. Then Karen came back, with backup. 2 pastel-wrapped board members. clipboards like weapons. They tried to claim my drive was shared infrastructure. I laid down the maps, pointed at the rebar boundary stakes. You want a tour? I'll show you the line in the dirt. They backed off, faces tight, but I knew they'd be back. A few days later, it got serious. An official-looking letter taped to my door. Notice of termination of residency. Eviction from an HOA I didn't belong to. Attached was a bogus law firm letter threatening civil and injunctive actions. I scanned it all, sent it to Marcus. He called deadpan, fake. Escalate. I called the county office. Dana, helpful soul, looked up the survey. You're outside Willow Pond by 234 feet, she said. You're clean. She emailed the paperwork. I filed a complaint for harassment, attached every fake letter, every camera still. That night, a flyer went up at the cul-de-sac. Community in danger. Rogue resident defies HOA authority. Picture of me and Rex, backs turned. Karen was on Facebook now, spinning wild tales about my tactical background. She dug up more about my past than I'd ever told anyone. That rattled me. I wasn't scared, just angry. This wasn't about bylaws anymore. It was about power and pride. I upped my security, told Marcus to prep a civil suit. Then came the day they made their big move. I drove home from town and found a white SUV at my driveway, 2 rent-a-cops in vests, and a third guy on my porch. My sign was gone, replaced with community property, no unauthorized access. Agawa logo, Bojas Bryce. Karen was there, sunglasses, navy blazer, playing president for her imaginary country. You've been given ample warning, she said. This home is now under administrative reassignment. I laughed, right in her face. You broke into my house. That's a felony. They tried to block me. I kept my phone rolling, called the sheriff. Loud, clear, let Karen hear every word. There's been an unlawful entry. Locks changed. Possible armed individuals. Police showed up fast. Deputies, cruisers, the whole nine. They separated us. I handed over the documents, maps, video. Karen tried to spin it, but the officers cut her off. Ma'am, those bylaws don't apply unless there's a legal contract. Do you have one? She didn't. The deputies checked the cams, caught her goon shoving me. The cops asked if I wanted to press charges. Yes, I said. Karen's whole house of cards fell apart right there. She went from smug to spluttering in about 3 seconds flat. She and her guards were cuffed and loaded into cruisers. The locks were evidence. My house was mine again. It didn't end there. Marcus dug into the fake law firm. Found out it was a shell, the email registered at the HOA clubhouse. The sheriff's office pressed every charge they could. Forgery, trespassing, impersonation, conspiracy. One of the guards flipped, spilled everything. Karen had bullied residents for years, but I was the first to stand up. Court was poetic. Karen's lawyer tried to argue community cohesion. The judge, stone-faced, cut her off. This is a question of property law and criminal fraud. Karen was found guilty. 9 years, 3 each for conspiracy, forgery, and trespass. The HOA was sued for damages, over $300,000. Insurance dropped them. State audits scorched the whole board. Neighbors changed. They waved now. Mark brought over a 6-pack. Never seen anyone stand up to her like that, he said. She picked the wrong house. I built a new fence, mounted a plaque, private property, non-HOA. Below it, hello, Karen. Rex got a custom doghouse. He preferred the fireplace. The story made the local news. Retired federal agent wins lawsuit against rogue HOA. Rex was in the photo, tongue out, as if he'd delivered the verdict himself. They tried reviving the HOA under a new name. Nobody bought it. The audit found files on half the town. I got a letter from the county. My case sparked a new ordinance, unofficially called Pierce's Law. Sometimes you fight for yourself and change things for everyone. Rex turned 7 that spring. I built him a ramp, though he still jumps like a pup. A cookout invite came. I went, brought ribs, and we joked about HOA citations as party favors. For the first time, the place felt like home. Not just the property, but the people. I still keep cameras up. Still keep records. Not paranoid, prepared. There's a difference. One morning, walking the tree line with my thermos, I found a cardboard sign on a tree. Karen was here. Joke or not, I burned it and didn't look back. You know, I left federal service for peace. I found it. But if anyone ever tries to take it again, well, let's just say I'll bury them under the HOA charter. Let me ask you this. Where do you draw the line between protecting a community and becoming a tyrant? Have you ever had to stand up to the Karens in your world? Or do you let them run the show? Drop your story below, because out here, your voice might just be the thing that tips the balance.